The political group American Bridge 21st Century is launching a new $140 million ad campaign today across key battleground states, slamming former President Trump's actions on reproductive health care. The first of the ads hits on the realities of a post-Roe America, with one focusing on a true story of a woman who had an abortion after finding out her baby would not survive.
I got the call from my doctor, and he said my baby wouldn't survive. So my husband and I made the decision to have an abortion. That's not a decision for any politician, including Donald Trump. Women need access and should have access to all of their options. Donald Trump wants to criminalize women for making a healthcare decision, even if it saves a woman's life. That is horrifying. If Trump was reelected, it would be devastating for women's healthcare.
Yeah, it already is, actually, given overturning of Roe. Joining us now, co-founder of American Bridge 21st Century, Bradley Baychuk. And Bradley, I would take it that some of these ads and part of this push would be making sure that Donald Trump, who has taken credit over and over and over again for overturning Roe, that message stays in the realm of truth because he tends to equivocate when necessary.
He does. Thanks for having me. I think that our job in the next 176 days at American Bridge is to remind voters in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, the states that we think are the path of least resistance to 270, of what the chaos and disorder was under a Trump administration. You know, Trump made good on his threat to ban abortion. He made good on his threat to overturn Roe v. Wade, and we have to hold him accountable every day.
Bradley, we were talking at the beginning of the program about the amnesia that some people feel around COVID, or even around January the 6th, that just doesn't seem to be resonating. And Mika, and how people are more focused on the cost of groceries and the cost of gas. And Mika brought up abortion as an issue in the context of that. I mean, do you feel that a lot of what you're going to be doing between now and November is stripping away some of the amnesia, reminding people of what life was like under Donald Trump, reminding them? I mean, are you planning to use a lot of ads that run a lot of images, for example, of January the 6th? What's the strategy there?
Yes, I think the memory gap that you all mentioned earlier is real, and I understand why voters would want to forget the chaos and disorder of a Trump administration. But I think when you look at powerful folks like Anna in battleground states, they're talking about three issues that Democrats have won a lot of elections on: abortion, democracy, and freedom. And I think Trump is, if you wake up and you're Donald Trump today, it's not only bad news because you're in a courtroom, but it's bad news because those three issues, you were the poster boy for the wrong side of those. And I think for us, that's what we want to be doing, is to remind people of this is what he promised he'd do, this is what he has done, and a second Trump term would be unhinged.
And Bradley, he just keeps bragging about it. It's crazy. I'll tell you what I thought was so effective. I saw a couple of the ads. We're so effective about it. The women are obviously very effective, but when you have men from Wisconsin, older men from Wisconsin, and these swing states talking about the impact on their wife or their daughter or their families, man, that is powerful. And that's powerful for men, swing voters in those three states.
Yeah, I think these people are really heroes. You know, we started this project last June to find these folks. And, you know, they're of and from the community. They're unscripted. And they're willing to speak out. And when you talk to them about why they want to speak out, they understand that people are tired. They want to forget the chaos of Trump, but they're fearful of what would be forward. And so thank God that they're out speaking their mind. And I think for abortion, it's one piece. For democracy, they realize that Trump is like gasoline on a fire, and they don't want that in their local community. And lastly, on freedom, they don't think of what will Republicans take away next. You know, if they won't accept the election results, why would we think that they're not going to take away more of our rights?
And Peter, the abortion is just, as it has been in 23 elections and 22, it's just going to be a massive issue, isn't it?
It is, of course, and it's going to be most relevant in the states where you have statewide referendum. We've seen that time and time again. When the issue is presented to voters, even in red states like Kansas, for instance, they have sided on the side of enshrining abortion rights in their state constitutions or what have you. The question is where it helps specific candidates, right? And I think that a lot of places where you roll up a lot of abortion rights supporters are places that are already blue districts. The question is, can you convert voters who otherwise might not vote for Democrats into voting for Democratic candidates, or are other issues competing with abortion? That's the real test, and we've seen some indications of that in some of the midterms. But the big test is this fall, especially with President Biden and Donald Trump. And he's decided, President Biden obviously has, and through his allies, decided that to wage the battle on that issue, because it is, a very salient one for a lot of Americans who might otherwise not care as much about politics.